Hello, everybody. My name is Rick McCutcheon. I'm a Dynamics 365 MVP, and I'm here today with Mary Miller from KwikTag. Mary, tell the people who you are and what you do.
Sure. Thanks, Rick. Yeah, my name is Mary Miller, and I head up the marketing and channel program at KwikTag. We're a division of enChoice. And at KwikTag, we are the software division. So we work with partners and we work with a lot of the Dynamics customers and resellers and technical consultants. And it's a lot of fun because we get to, solve the problems that our customers are facing hand in hand with our partners. And in my role, I manage a team that kind of supports all of that on a daily basis.
Yep. And you and I were both getting together with the community last week at Directions in Orlando. Tell us a little bit about the show and what you thought about it.
Yeah, Rick, it was great. We've all been in this kind of can't wait to get back out there mode for seems like so long now. And to be able to, see people face to face, talk to multiple people in the same day without needing to look at a computer screen was a really nice touch. But all of the focus of the content was really directed toward the, nav/Business Central community or segment of the community. And that was really a great eye opener for us because the sessions were very focused on where things are going and not necessarily where things have been, right? A lot of partners are exploring, are they going to move all of their current, traditional legacy ERP systems, Dynamics ERP systems to Business Central or some other, flavor of the cloud solutions. And it was really great to talk strategy on that because everybody's moving, kind of finally in the same direction, right? Whereas in the past, you kind of had to make a choice of were you going to go down a GP path, an SL path, a NAV, AX, depending on how big your practice was, right? And now it's like we're all kind of coming together in this sort of move to the cloud. And because this was all BC and NAV focused, it was perfect timing because we're about to launch actually our AP automation solution for Business Central specifically. So it was great to be able to, kind of share that with partners and discuss their clients' needs and really get that firsthand feedback. And it was just so awesome to see everybody together kind of under one roof again.
And I think you're exactly right there that the Business Central Nav marketplaces is really starting to pick up momentum. And I see that working with ISVs, that when the product, I think, first launched, we were looking at it, as a replacement for QuickBooks Enterprise, right? And then all of a sudden, the ISV community started developing all the products for it. And once that took off, we're seeing it really being able to, move up to the large SMB and really that mid-market, which is a great place for it.
Right.
So let's talk a little bit about KwikTag and your existing products, what you do now, and what you got coming up on your roadmap.
Yeah, it's kind of a story of, some people will run into us and say, oh, you're the people with little sticker tags, right? And yes, while that is true, our history is in the document management space. Our legacy began as document management back in the late 90s, when it was still cool to have the ability to do that. And we really evolved very quickly to being the first to be embedded into the Microsoft Dynamics ERP systems with that document management that extended across the entire ERP system. So not just accounting, but HR and contracts and legal and other areas of the business that might also need to go digital with documents. Well, fast forward 20 years and here we are, right? But along the way, we quickly learned, and mostly from customer and market feedback, again, because our focus was so laser tight on the Dynamics focus. We're in the Microsoft Dynamics space. So we work with all of these partners for many, many years. And so our partners and our customers told us the next logical step that we need is to be able to automate these documents that you are making digital for us. Like, this is great, but now we want more. So we quickly extended that to our AP automation solutions, originally for, GP, and then quickly NAV and SL and others along the way. So we've continued to enhance our AP automation solutions, of course, for those legacy systems. But what's next is simply AP for Business Central, which is our AP automation system for Business Central. And it's born in the cloud. It's AI-based OCR. It's probably as smart as you or I would like to think that we are, right, Rick? And it'll get smarter faster even. So it's really an intelligence-based AI AP automation solution. And the other thing that we've done to complete the AP cycle, even with our legacy solutions, which it's hard to say legacy because we're still coming out with new stuff for it all the time, but is to add payment processing for those organizations that want it to be seamless from invoice to payment all in the same system. We make that available now as well, and companies can issue those payments through, a check, an ACH, a wire, or some sort of card, virtual card or other credit card number. So it's really been exciting to see the evolution of KwikTag go from document management, make the paper go away. And yeah, those little stickers are cute, but they also are really, really powerful, because you could still use them today to scan 100 documents into one system and it'll figure out where they need to go. And so that's, huge time saver. But from evolving from that to AP automation to now completing the cycle with payment processing, and then our next phase to really expand in the BC and more born in the cloud type ERP systems.
So let's talk a little bit about partners, because KwikTag is known as a partner friendly company. So let's talk a little bit about your partner program and how partners can get involved with you.
Yeah, absolutely. At KwikTag, we're not only partner friendly, we're partner driven. The majority of our business comes from our relationships with our partners. We don't take that lightly, not for a minute. We believe in the relationships that we have with our partners that date back some for those 10, 20 years, that we've had in all this time. And, we were among the first to be part of the Dynamics community and when the events started coming out specifically for the ERP systems. So we've really done our best to foster those relationships. So in terms of our partner program, when we welcome partners into the fold, we want partners who have that same kind of approach that we do. We want the best solution for our customers. We want to take care of the partner. We want to train the partner team if they want to be, trained at that level of detail. And we really want to support them. So it's not just about the product. It's about socializing. It's about, content creation, sending them messages that they can, share with their customers or in their social channels, doing webinars and videos and blogs and podcasts, things like this that we can share. And, we've had more and more partners say, especially as a result of the pandemic, that they, we're all kind of webinared out, right? Like nobody wants to dedicate an hour anymore. And that's okay. So, we try to come up with, snippet content, short video content, or we'll record a webinar and give you just the, 5, 10, 12 minutes or whatever it is that's going to be most critical for your audience. And then you can, click through to watch the full thing later if that's the choice of your end user or viewer. So we really take a solid approach, and we've simplified our program this year even more, such that when a partner comes on, they'll fit into 1, 2, or one of 3 categories. And the driving force is really about getting people to help sell cloud solutions. So it's kind of where we're all going. So it's all about, building that relationship and having a well-known team and brand in the organization and in the community, but then also really just making it easy for partners and taking care of them from a margin support, of course, product support, of course, but also giving them the help they need. They don't have big marketing teams. And so, sometimes it's one person and they're trying to manage a lot of different things. So we want to make it as easy as possible for them to help educate their customers and their teams as well.
Okay, thanks, Mary. KwikTag is one of those companies that have been in the space for a long time and has kind of grown with Dynamics, and I think it's going to take advantage of this accelerated growth we're about to go into. So you did talk a little bit about the community at DCI. We've got another show coming up in October, the Summit, and I think KwikTag is going to be there.
We absolutely will. We were a premier sponsor last year, and we're going to be one again this year. And last year it was kind of funny because, people were just sort of coming out of the, I think I'm going to be ready to travel now phase, right? And we had a lot of great conversations. And so what we learned from, sort of the summit reunion, as it were, is that yes, people are ready to get back face to face, and you're going to be probably a little bit more cautious, maybe a little bit more frugal, shall I say, about how many people you send to these events, but companies are sending the right people. We had a lot of great quality conversations. It was definitely not a numbers game, but it was a quality over quantity. And I'll take that all day long and twice on Sunday. It's just like, it's a really great experience to have those face-to-face interactions. We'll be back this year in the fall as a premier sponsor and are really excited to connect with even more people, because I think more people will be even more ready to travel this year than they were last.
I think you're right. So Mary, thanks for your time today, and I'm sure we'll be catching up with you and what's new at KwikTag in the future.
Absolutely. Thanks, Rick.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.